Welcome back, children. Now, this video is about colloids, and we have taken an example here of water and ink. So, a mixture of ink and water is a very good example of colloid. You can see ink and water, and ink and water are a very good example of colloid. And children, look here, colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. Now, if you look at the particles of the colloid, the size of the particles of colloid are little bit bigger than solutions, but smaller than suspensions. So they are smaller than suspensions, so you cannot see them through your naked eyes. And the particles of colloid, if you keep them undisturbed, if you leave it undisturbed for some time, they will not settle down. Now you see here, you have just left the mixture of ink and water undisturbed, and you see the particles will not settle down. So the mixture of colloids looks like homogeneous mixture, but it is not homogeneous, it is a heterogeneous mixture. So the particles will not settle down if you left them undisturbed, right? We have done three properties. Next property is, children, if you put a beam of light on colloids, it will scatter the beam of light, as you see in the previous. Let me just scroll it a bit towards the back, rewind something. I want you to be very particular and see the things very clearly. See, Tyndall effect. I want you to show the Tyndall effect. You can see the beam of light, the coming from the torch, is getting scattered, right? The beam of light coming from the torch is getting scattered. That means it shows Tyndall effect. Colloids can scatter the beam of light and it makes its path visible, so that means it will show Tyndall effect. Now the next property about colloids, children, is that if you want to filter the mixture, you see the mixture will not be separated by filtration method, and the dispersed particles in colloids form the dispersed phase. Now remember this, that dispersed particles of in a colloid, let me show you, the dispersed particles in a colloid, okay, form the dispersed phase. Now children, here dispersed particle means the things which you consider as solute. The things which you consider as solute here in colloids, we call them as dispersed particles. We call them as dispersed particles. Okay. And the thing which you consider as solvent, the thing which you consider as solvent, we call it as dispersing medium. ध्यान से सुनो, I will tell you again. Solution के दो parts होते हैं, solute and solvent. तो जिनको हम solute कहते हैं colloids में, we call them as dispersed particles. और जिनको हम solvent कहते हैं colloids में, we call them as dispersing medium. So ये दो चीजें हैं. Again, now I have recorded it for you all in Hindi because I want everybody to be very clear and particular about this thing. Children, again I am repeating, solution के दो components होते हैं, solute and solvent. जो थोड़ी क्वांटिटी में होता है वो सॉल्यूट होता है, जो ज्यादा क्वांटिटी में होता है वो सॉल्वेंट होता है. जैसे सॉल्यूशन के दो कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं, वैसे ही कोलॉइड के भी दो कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं, एक डिस्पर्स्ड फेज और दूसरा डिस्पर्स्ड मीडियम. ठीक है, डिस्पर्स्ड फेज बिल्कुल वैसा ही है जैसा सॉल्यूशन में सॉल्यूट है, और डिस्पर्सिंग मीडियम वही है जैसा सॉल्यूशन में सॉल्वेंट है. मेरी बात समझ आ गई होगी आप लोगों को. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट for colloidal part. You have to understand this. And children, I want all of you to write down this question. Today's first question is today's first question is, what do you mean by dispersed phase? And the second question is, what do you mean by dispersing medium? So you have to note down these two questions. I will ask you to mark the answers. I will tell you how to write down the answers, and I will also ask you to mark these answers in your NCERT. Let me show you your NCERT now.